Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, comic book fan. I've got another comic haul to show you. We'll start off with Marvel Comics. So I picked up Amazing Spider-Man number 15, Legacy number 816 by Spencer and Bachalo. So I got this because I love the cover. This is just the regular old cover by Rivera. And I love it. It's just a classic Spider-Man, Spidey sense tingling, above the city, cool pose, great classic costume. It's just a classic Spider-Man cover in a sort of a modern way. So I picked that one up. A modern spider character is Spider-Gwen. So this is a Spider-Gwen volume 3 or 2 or whatever, however they're counting it. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, number 5. Oh, here we go, Legacy 45. So they are counting legacy numbering. Interesting. Didn't notice that. This is Maguire, Miyazawa, and Herring. So R.I.P. the team from the original volume, Renzi and Latour, etc. But anyway, here's a new take on Spider-Gwen, and I like this cover. Again, kind of classic spider character, Spider-Gwen. Love her costume and her story. Kind of darker than I sort of remember it in the original volumes, but you know, changing times and Spider-Geddon and all of that. Well, this looks like a blast from the past. Marvel Comics Group presents Crypt of Shadows. What nameless evil lurks there? So this is a classic throwback to the old Marvel Comics trade dress, where they would have the name of the comic, Marvel Comics Group, price at the top, and so forth. It's just missing the Comics Code Authority to like be perfect. They should have put it just to kind of get there completely. But this is a horror anthology that they're doing, and I got the variant cover with the classic style. There were some other variants, of course, regular covers, but I got the variant because I love how cheesy it is. Oh no, no, let go of me! And then the Hellhounds are taking him to the Crypt of Shadows. Love that. Speaking of horror, I was looking at the back issue bins, and I got this one on a lark. George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead, number 1, illustrated by Alex Maleev. I had totally forgotten about this series, and hey, it's a Marvel comic. This is from 2014. And parental advisory, not for kids. So yep, it's a very violent, mature comic book written by George Romero. So would you consider this comic part of the Romero-verse? Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, etc. All of his live-action movies. Does Empire of the Dead count? I'm gonna say sure. Over at the Distinguished Competition, I picked up Batman Secret Files number 1, mostly because I love this cover. I'm a sucker for gimmicks, and I don't think the camera will pick it up that great. You gotta see this in real life. But this is a beautiful foil cover, monochromatic Batman, except for the belt, and then these beautiful, like, shiny foil accents that just remind me of the 90s. Yes, the gimmick covers ruined the 90s and the speculator bubble and bankruptcy, blah blah blah. I loved it. I lived through it. I have rose-colored glasses. Hey, what if they do a rose-colored cover? Anyway, Batman Secret Files, shiny foil cover. Okay, here's something that's kind of in vogue at the moment in comics. These pseudo-virgin art styles. This is DC's The Batman Who Laughs, number 3 by Snyder, Jock, and Barron. And it's got the beautiful The Joker Who Laughs cover, like horrific actually, just beautifully rendered. And the almost virgin cover with nothing else except the basic stuff. And just really, this is a wall book. This just stands out. You gotta see it on the wall, pick it up, and the story is like all crazy. The Batman Who Shoots Guns, or whatever his name is in this book. Spoiler alert. Can you believe it? 999 issues of Detective Comics, all the way back from 1938, 39, and Batman has been headlining it for, you know, I'm bad at math, 80 years. But Detective Comics number 999 with Thomas, Mink, Alamy, Champagne, Irwin, Mendoza, and Barron, all leading towards number 1000. I've already reserved my copy, which will be the Paul Dini variant cover with a 40s flavor. This is the variant cover 99921, and I like this style here, this sort of worm's eye view looking up at Batman, up in the Gotham Knights, and his expression of determination. Kind of monochromatic to some degree. Very nice. And again, the nearly virgin cover. Here's something that DC's doing recently, sideways covers. That's kind of cool. They kind of put their toe in the water with Green Lantern a few months ago, and now they're doing a bunch of these sideways, nearly virgin covers. I wanted to pick up the Harley Quinn ones, but those are all sold out. Anyway, I got Wonder Woman, number 64 by Wilson, Merino, Owens, and Fajardo Jr. So this is variant number 2, very cool cover. By Art Germ. He did this cover and a bunch of other ones, but this is really cool, like a landscape one. Of course, when you put this in front of the shelves and they're all covered up like that, well, you don't see anything there, but this will be cool as part of the collection. Very nice widescreen presentation. Cool art. Moving over to the smaller publishers, here's from Image Comics, Mirka Andolfo's Unnatural number 8. This is a great series, very dark, very violent, very mature and sexy, and this is continuing number 8. The series was originally published in Italian, and now it's coming to the US. So this has been pretty popular. The early issues have gone to second print and such, and there's a bunch of variants. So this is the... I looked it up again, but Madureira cover, and kind of an idyllic scene here, but this belies or betrays the actual plot in that it's very dark and can be disturbing. Basically, what if you were possessed by an evil spirit and other stuff's going on? Interesting, you should pick it up. And then over at Dynamite, I've got Red Sonja number 1, Amanda Connor cover, so a new number 1. A new take on Red Sonja, and no creative team listed on the cover for some reason, but this is a cool Amanda Connor cover. The She-Devil with a sword looking as badass as ever, and just chopping up a bunch of guys. The usual Connor Mounts collab on the cover. Not sure if they're doing interiors, I haven't cracked it open yet, but this is pretty epic shot in the cover. And Dynamite celebrating 15 years. Dynamite is also featuring a lot of cosplay covers. So here's Vampirella versus Reanimator number 2. This is by Colin Bunn and Blackie Shepherd. So their cosplay covers are great. They've done them for Vampirella, Red Sonja, Deja Taurus, etc. And my only gripe with this, even though it's a very good cosplay, my only cover is, this is Vampirella versus Reanimator. Where is the good doctor in this cosplay cover? I know we're focused on other things, but it's Vampirella versus Reanimator, so please, be accurate. Next up is The Shape of Elvira, number 1 photo variant cover. So this is crazy. Elvira is basically in the plot of The Shape of Water, and Elvira's making a comeback. She's got her Mistress of the Dark main series, and here's her Shape of Elvira. I got the variant cover. This is, I believe, the homage outfit to her Mistress of the Dark movie from the 80s, from the climatic scene at the end. Classic outfit of hers. Again, truth in advertising. She never shows up like this in the comics, so why do we have this photo cover? The little fish guy should be here as well. But anyway, cosplay variant cover, The Shape of Elvira. Moving over to Titan Comics, we've got Tank Girl Action Alley number 3. So I'm loving Tank Girl. Her resurgence has been happening for the last few years. She's been in a bunch of 4 and 5 issue miniseries. Let's see what was there. 2 Girls, 1 Tank, World War Tank Girl, Tank Girl Gold, etc. She's been in a lot of these, and now it's Action Alley. So it's sort of like a 4 issue, read it and enjoy it, and then let's see what else. So a lot of action on this. I love the art. This is by Martin and Parson, Martin writing, Parson drawing, and I love his style. It's cartoony, it's kinetic, it's detailed, it's really cool. So Tank Girl Action Alley number 3. Moving over to Archie Horror, we have Blossoms 666 number 1. The Francavilla regular cover, but second print. This book is flying off the shelves, so I had to get second print. And basically the Archie Horror imprint, if you haven't paid attention, you probably have because of Riverdale. Archie has been doing a whole horror series of comics. It first started with Afterlife with Archie, then Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, then Jughead the Hunger, and then Vampironica. So now we've got the Blossoms, Cheryl and whatever his name is, as the possible Antichrist. One of them is the Antichrist. They're twins after all. One of them's the Antichrist. Okay, so I got number 1, second print, and I was also picking up number 2, first print, regular cover, and very cool style here. Look at that demonic symbolism in the back and blood red, contrasting with white, and just a very cool, powerful cover, very demonic. Look at her sublime and evil expression. In this Francavilla cover too, as usual, he does an amazing job with his uneasy style. And can you see the 666 subliminal message? So I got number 1 and number 2. For a few completely different things, I picked up actually at the comic shop that I visit, on the shelf they had The Lone Ranger, number 87, I believe, from Dell Comics. Look carefully here. This is a 10-cent comic from September. You know what this means? This is a Golden Age comic. This comic is from 1955. This is probably the oldest comic I own. I think the oldest was previously 1962. Wait a minute. I think I have got one from 1957 or 1958, a Tom and Jerry. Yeah, I think I got one of those at Comic-Con. But anyway, this is a Lone Ranger Dell comic, classic comic. This book is older than me. This book is older than my mom. This book is probably older than you. And it's a classic Lone Ranger painted cover with an important message. See Dell's pledge to parents on inside front cover. Well, the thing about that is, this is after the Senate investigations determining if comic books were a menace to society. Yes, in the 1950s, Congress had nothing better to do than determine if comic books were warping the youth, or promoting homosexuality, or communism and such. So the Comics Code Authority was implemented, which lasted, 50 years, and was sanitizing, aka censoring comics. Well, Dell had their Dell Pledge, which was also their slogan, Dell Comics are good comics. And it was all about being family-friendly, juvenile reading that parents had nothing to fear about, except for, shooting minorities and so forth. So, Dell Comics, I got this at the comic shop, very good price, pretty good condition, although if you notice here in the light, there is a subscriber fold down the middle, because back in the day when they would mail it to you, they would fold it in half and put it in your mailbox. So, from here, it looks great. If you kind of go in a little bit, you see a little couple things here and there, but still, this is a 50-year-old comic. I'm bad at math. So, great to have this in my collection. Golden Age comic book. I picked up a couple of things from eBay, and one of them is Harley Quinn, number 1, the DC Rebirth, volume 3. And I picked this up because, hey, this looks familiar. This looks familiar. Yeah, it looks exactly like this. This is my original Harley Quinn number 1 in her regular series from December 2000. This is drawn by Rachel and Terry Dodson. You can see their name there. This was Carl Kessel, Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson. And this was Harley Quinn's first monthly comic, December 2000. All aboard the roller coaster of love. So her first series, very cool. I've had this since 2000. And then I saw that there was a variant of her latest, or volume 3, that the Dodsons did again. So this is from 2016. 16 years later, the Dodsons came back and did another Harley Quinn number 1. I kind of love that. So I've got both the original, the new one, side by side. And it's just kind of cool to see the artists revisiting the original pose and character, and just with the new generation, how far Harley has come, right? in her sort of like Suicide Squad version nowadays compared to the original Batman the Animated Series version. Pretty cool comparison right there. So I picked up this one. I already had that one. And lastly, I'm very proud of this. I finally got my own copy of The Walking Dead #1. So this is a very expensive book because, of course, The Walking Dead is part of pop culture. But I finally got my own copy right here. The Walking Dead, all new, first issue, #1 of 4. This is the amazing first issue that has spawned a pop culture revolution in the return of zombies. April Fool, this is not the famous Walking Dead comic that the TV show and multimedia empire is based on. No, silly, that is from Image Comics. This one is from Aircel Comics, a comic publisher long extinct, but they were one of the first ones to do black and white zombie comic book where what happens when the world has gone to heck. Well, this is from 1989. This is 4 years before the Image Comics 2003 Robert Kirkman Walking Dead. So I wanted to pick this up for my collection as sort of an interesting historical footnote. What if this was what started the current resurgence of zombies? And this is cover is like amazing. Color covers, black and white interiors, like the Walking Dead comic that we all know. But this is an alternative one, and it's got a great 80s aesthetic, very pulpy, again from a publisher you've never heard of, and a creator, Somerville, you've never heard of. But I love this stuff. I love these black and white independent comic books from the 80s. They were a little bit before my time. I started collecting comics really in 1987, and it was all Spider-Man. Well, I love kind of going back and looking at comics from that era that were long gone, and this is one of them, The Walking Dead, #1 of 4 from Aircel. So to recap, I got Blossoms #1 and 2, Tank Girl Action Alley #3, Elvira the Shape of Water #1, Elvira the Shape of Elvira #1, Vampirella vs. Reanimator, Red Sonja #1, Unnatural #8, Wonder Woman #64, Detective Comics #999, The Batman Who Laughs #3, Batman Secret Files #1, Romero's Empire of the Dead #1, Crypt of Shadows #1, Spider-Gwen Go Spider #5, Spider-Man #15, The Walking Dead #1, Harley Quinn #1, and The Lone Ranger #87. What do you think? I got a variety of interesting comics. See anything you like? Anything that you're interested in? Tell me what I should be picking up in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, check me out on Patreon. If you subscribe at my $2 tier, I will actually mail you a vintage comic from my collection. For $1, you get access to other exclusive content. And even if you don't subscribe, head on over to that Patreon account, patreon.com/vmcampos, because I have a lot of great free stuff. I consolidate a lot of things there. It's not just stuff that you have to pay for, you get a lot of free stuff. But if you've got a few bucks, you can get some stuff. So this has been VM Campos. See you at the comic shops.